These videos keep corrupting for some reason, so every time I try and start a new video, it just doesn't work. But I'm gonna try anyways. So I guess I'll open, where is it? It would be in here, and that. Okay. So because the videos kept corrupting, I can't show how I made this, but I can explain how I made it. So basically, well, first I'll describe what it is. Basically what this is it's a deck box for Yu-Gi-Oh! That lets you draw cards one at a time. There doesn't have a lid yet, but it will. So that you can play, it lets you draw cards one at a time. And I had the idea that it would be nice to have two of these for the same reason why it was nice to have a two-player dual blade. But because I only need one of these, then at least one of these should probably be able to like fold up and collapse into a smaller form so that it's not in the way. Because I have one deck, and if someone... Una, you turned on the printer. I unplugged the printer. Anyways, because I have the one deck, so it's gonna be in here, and then I don't need this one to fold up, but the other one does need to fold up. I'm gonna stop eating plastic. Stop eating plastic, Una. That's not good for you. Also, it doesn't taste good. I don't know why you like it. So this is what this is here. This is a system of just hinges that I'm going to test to see if that'll work. What are you doing, Una? Una, come here. Come here. Come here, Una. Dumb cats. Anyways, so this is just a system of hinges to see if it'll work for me to be able to collapse essentially this. You know, it's just a collapsible version of this, and so yeah, I've got some work to do on this but collapsible, and then after I do that, I also have to make the graveyard / banish zones, because in Yu-Gi-Oh! If you have a card on the field and then it leaves the field, it goes to either the graveyard or the banish zone depending on the circumstances of things. And so I need to make that, and that is probably going to be just a bucket that like wraps around this. So now I'm gonna explain the geometry of this because it's pretty neat. So firstly and most obviously, we've got this here width. That's just big enough to hold a deck of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are in card sleeves. And a deck of Yu-Gi-Oh cards is a maximum of 60 cards. So it only needs to hold 60 Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are sleeved. So that's 42 millimeters. And this hole is for the extra deck. This cavity here And so this is 15 because that can hold 15 sleeved cards, which is kind of interesting that 15 cards fits in 15 millimeters, but then 60 cards fits in 42 millimeters, but that's just because empty space and stuff. But I'm gonna stop eating plastic. What are you eating? You're chewing on one of those plastic strands? As long as she doesn't swallow it. So yeah, this holds the deck, this holds the extra deck. This has an angle at the bottom in order to allow the cards to slide down towards this here, which is the slot that they are drawn through. And the geometry of this slot is kind of, what's the word? Kind of finicky. I had to do some tests to get this geometry, but I didn't do the tests when making this because I already have a different deck box. I don't know. I don't know how to navigate the new system yet, but okay, V3, this is the version I actually have. Okay. I already made this a long time ago. And so all I did was I just copied the geometry from this one into this one because I already know that it works. So now all I have to do is, although, yeah, I did do one thing different. This holds the cards sideways instead of vertically, for reasons that will become important when I make the graveyard banish zones. Watch the GY ban. Essentially, when you put a card in here, it's gonna want to lean down this way because this is the part that goes on your hooks onto your pants. So you put a card in, and if it leans down, it leans down that way because it's gonna lean away from you. And having it tall wise, just kind of, what are you doing? Having it tall wise has it lean pretty far out, and it is kind of annoying. Because like I'm scared it's gonna fall out of the thing. So that's why this is sideways, is so that the graveyard banish will be sideways, and allow me to have the cards not do that. But for now, I'm just gonna test this. This is a concept for a collapsible version of this. And once I get progress made on this, I can start making more progress on this, which will be transferred into this, and that progress will be a little belt clip, a lid, and then a graveyard banish zone. But the graveyard banish zone for this one won't have to fit onto this one, won't have to fit onto it like this one, because it'll also need to collapse. And so the way I made this was with what sketch? Was with this sketch. So the way I made this was, I have several, this is essentially what it ought to be like when it's folded, and this is it when it's not folded. And so the way I have this is I have all of these pieces are on hinges, so that they can just fold together. And that's basically all it is they're just on hinges. And I will see about how they fit together. But I do need to make progress on this I need to make more progress on these models before I test out how the hinging works, because I would like to test out the entire box, or not the entire box, but the entire rectangle of the box, just to make sure it all works. But before anything happens to the stupid video file, before the video decides I'm gonna stop recording, I'm gonna not work, I'm gonna go ahead and end this right here and start up a new video wherein I make progress on this, because I'm scared that the video is gonna screw up.